You want to hear something crazy? So this is a story I tell on every podcast because it's so fascinating on what our subconscious mind, what our subconscious, because you brought up ghosts, so I wanted to bring this up. So it was the NFL season of 2021, and I had been working with a client starting the beginning of the season. He was like a third, fourth stringer, and as we were going throughout the season, halfway through, he finally got his first start. So what we would do is every week we'd get together and I would put the hypnosis, I would put the plays of the other team in a hypnosis recording, right? So we'd, when it's like, all right, shotgun four wide, pay attention to the Hail Mary or pay attention to slants or whatever. So my client, he got his first start. And so we jumped on our session and, he's like, Dom, I'm a little nervous. This is my first start. So if there's anything we haven't done yet, if there's any tricks up your sleeve, any magic you can do, now is the time to do it, right? So basically what I told him to do is I said, okay, I'm going to create the sleep hypnosis, but this time I want you to loop it throughout the night. So it's a 30-minute recording. You're going to listen to it 8 hours, that's 16 times a night. Now, at the time, I had never actually used sleep hypnosis myself. As a matter of fact, I didn't really believe in it because I was thinking, I'm sleeping. So how is it going to work if I'm asleep, right? But I figured it's not going to hurt. So we might as well give it a go. So he listened to it Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And then Sunday, he messaged me after the game. And he said, Dom, I've never been more in tune with what the other team was going to do. And he said, it's like I knew what they were going to do before they did it. So that was a huge relief for me because like, oh, thank God it worked, right? But that got my wheels turned in my head. I'm like, okay, maybe there is something to this whole sleep hypnosis thing. So it must have been a couple weeks later or something like that. And the thought came to me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to listen to a sleep hypnosis around creating more success financially, creating abundance, right? So I found this video on YouTube. It had like millions of views. It had thousands of comments. And I'm going through all the comments and there's just comment after comment after comment saying, oh, I listened to this and I woke up to $2,000. I listened to this. I made 10 grand this week. I made 500, just thousands of comments. And at first I thought, this has to be fake, right? Now, mind you, I'm already 3 years into my hypnosis journey and I'm still doubting this. I'm like, there's no way. But I was investigating like, all right, let me see if this is a bot. And I go to the person, they'd have like 10,000 subscribers, 5,000. So I'm like, okay, these are real people. So I'm like, you know what? I might as well give it a shot. I'm going to be sleeping anyway. So it's not like I have to interrupt my day. So I started listening to the hypnosis recording on a Tuesday. And by Sunday, we had our biggest week ever by almost 50%. Now, this was great. I'm happy to have 50% more clients. The problem was, though, I didn't have a huge team like I do now. And 50% more clients is great, but that also comes with 50% more work. So I actually stopped listening to the recording because it was too powerful. And I left it at that. Well, some months went by and the thought was always lingering in my head. And I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just create my own sleep hypnosis? But instead of making it around a lot of money, let's make it around a lot of money and working the same or even less, right? So making it more passive. So I created this sleep hypnosis. I put it on my YouTube. I put it on my Instagram. And within a couple of days, I was getting a ton of great feedback, right? People are saying deals are closing, their calendars are filling up, all this cool stuff. And then other people were saying that they couldn't understand it. Like it sounded like it was corrupted or something. So I just figured maybe I messed something up. It was my first time making an 8-hour recording. I probably screwed something up on the back end. So a couple months after that, I work with business owners, people that are in sales, CEOs, things like that. And I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this sleep hypnosis to all my new clients as a part of their homework or part of our process, right? So started giving it to all my clients. Same thing. A bunch of people are like, wow, deals are closing, this and that. And then another client, one client in particular, she messaged me one day and she said, Dom, I think I'm going crazy. And I said, what's going on? And she goes, the first 3 or 4 days, I could hear the recording fine, but now it sounds like it's in a different language. She said, it sounds distorted. Something's wrong with it. So I said, I've heard this before. Screen record it, send it to me, and I'll take a look. So she screen records it, sends it over. I can hear it perfectly fine, just like you can hear me right now. And about an hour goes by and she texts me back and she goes, oh my God, you're never going to believe this. I said, what? And she goes, I'm listening to I showed my partner your recording. We're in the same exact room. we're listening to the same exact thing, and she can hear it perfectly fine, but I can't understand it. It sounds like it's in a different language. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? Like, what? I don't understand what's happening. So I said, let's talk about it in our session next week. So we jump on our call, and I want to see it for myself, right? I'm still in disbelief, like what is going on here? So I shared my screen, hit the play button, and sure enough, I can hear it as clear as day, and she can't understand a word. Now she can read the subtitles on the on the captions, but it's not coming into her brain auditorily. So I just went with my intuitive, instincts, and I said, okay, her brain must be blocking it out because she's afraid of something. Like there has to be some fear of success or something. So basically what we did is we broke down the affirmation. It's one affirmation that plays for 8 hours, and there's little parts to it. And what we discovered is that she had all these fears and limiting beliefs. So she was afraid that she couldn't handle a large amount of success all at once. She was afraid that, when she became successful, she would be arrogant and cocky, and then she would lose all her friends and family. She was afraid that her friends and family would be jealous of her. She was afraid that she couldn't handle multiple sources of income. She was afraid she'd be successful, wouldn't be happy, all these different things, right? So one by one, we go through, boom, we go into subconscious mind, figure out where is this coming from, remove it, remove it, remove it. And then lo and behold, 45 minutes later, I play the recording. She can hear it as clear as day. Now, that's not even the craziest part. So I do a group call with a bunch of my clients every week. There's like 50, 60 people on there. And we go over different things or whatever, do different stuff about business and how to use hypnosis and sales and marketing, all kinds of cool stuff. So I shared this with a group. I'm like, oh my God, the craziest thing happened to me last week. I told them the whole story. And a couple of people were like, dude, that same thing happened to me. I just thought like the recording was messed up or something. So one by one, I started working with people and same exact thing, turn it on, they can't hear it, boom, we clear it. Well, it was either a week or two after this, I had all my clients create their own affirmation on this app. And essentially it just plays over and over and over. And so they're coming. Have nothing involved in this. I don't tell them what to say. I don't tell them how to say it. It's their voice, their sentence, their word, whatever. And within like 4 to 5 days of doing that, people that were playing their own affirmation in their own words could not understand their own recording because their mind was blocking it out. Now, even crazier, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe, I was doing a group call, and I was telling a story about how I lost a friend of mine. And, I told the whole story, whatever. Well, a couple of days later, I had a client that I met with, and she goes, Dom, the craziest thing happened to me on Monday when you were doing your group call. I said, what's going on? And she goes, I could hear everything you were saying. And she goes, up until the point where you said you picked up the phone and your buddy gave you the bad news that your other buddy had passed away. She goes, for the next 20 minutes, I couldn't understand anything you were saying. She said, it sounded like I was talking underwater. And then after the 20 minutes, she said her phone was fully charged. Her phone completely went to zero and she passed out. So I share that with you because our subconscious mind will play tricks on us so much so to where it will literally block you from hearing it. Now, think about this. You got a business owner, a salesperson hustling their ass off, they're grinding, they're working, but their mind is not even allowing them to receive it. So it's a very, very fascinating, a fascinating phenomena that we kind of just stumbled across.